Hello everybody. So in this video I'm going to show you how to do keyframing in Lightworks. I'm going to show you how to keyframe pretty much everything. So I'm in the VFX tab and I have my three favorite clips open. I have my praying mantis eating a beetle, I have the ocean, and I have a giant sea worm with teeth that is straight out of the movie Tremors. So to keyframe, the first thing you need to do is position the playhead over the clip you want to keyframe. You need to add whatever effect that you want to keyframe. Well, I'm just going to do the color effect, which is right here. Now, the playhead is going to correspond with this section right here that says keyframe. So this is the playhead, the little red thing. When I move the playhead, that moves. Now, to enable keyframing, these are all going to be blank by default. And anything that you want to enable keyframing of, you need to click the little clock icon right here to enable keyframing. Now in RGB, I click the clock icons for these already. I can enable keyframing for all of this as well by clicking those clock icons. So anything with the clock icons clicked is keyframable. Now if I adjust anything that is keyframable, then a keyframe will automatically be added for whatever I adjusted. See, now right here at this playhead position, there was a keyframe that was just added for these two parameters that I just changed. So if I go back and play it from the beginning, you'll watch the contrast and the saturation increase. And then the contrast and saturation will slowly go back down to their original positions. And the reason they do is because there's a keyframe at the end here that is set for these to be at their original positions. So if I position the clip, the playhead over here, I could add a keyframe by clicking the plus button. I can move it over. I can add a keyframe to the RGB by going to the RGB and clicking, just dragging this stuff all around. And of course, if I hit play, you're going to watch it. Once it hits this keyframe here, it's going to start to transition to the different colors that I just added, which there it goes. And then it will go back down. Now you can delete keyframes too. By going to your keyframe editor and you click the little arrows, you can go back to the previous keyframe, and I can hit the minus button and delete it and get rid of that keyframe. I can go back to the other keyframe and I can make different adjustments to it in order to change things around for the other keyframe. And like I said before, whenever you position your playhead somewhere different, and if you make an adjustment to a keyframeable thing, a keyframe will automatically be added, and you can add one just by clicking a plus button as well in any position that you want. But the real power of the keyframer is in the Graphs tab right here. You click this tab, these are all your keyframes for all of the individual parameters that you've enabled keyframing of. Now I have a lot of parameters right here that I've enabled keyframing of. Here's the blue, for instance. You can just drag that up. You can grab it here, drag it down. You can do all kinds of crazy things with this Graphs tab. I can just grab any point that is keyframable, and I can add keyframes along any position of the video. Keep in mind, this line here corresponds to where the playhead is. If I hit play, you will see that the playhead changes positions in this Graphs tab when I hit stop. Now it's over here. Hit play again. And now it's over here. This is where the playhead is down here as well. And if I grab right here and click up, I got my transition. I can go back to the previous keyframe by hitting the jump to previous keyframe button, which will bring me right there. And if I do it again, it'll bring me right here. And I could even change this keyframe some more too. See that? So now when I play the video, it's just going to do all the funky color things that I just added to it while it's playing. And you can do this with just about everything. Now I'm going to go to this clip and I'm going to right click and I will add an effect, or maybe I won't. Well, I'm just going to click the plus button. Typically I can right click and add an effect. That's a little weird. But I'm going to put a 3D DVE on here. I'm going to apply this effect. Now I have a 3D DVE, and if I, for example, I can move this right now before enabling keyframing, and that way this will start here. This will be the starting position for this clip. So let's do this, for example. Let's start this clip right here, and then what we'll do is we'll enable keyframing on all of these parameters, and then we'll go to the end of the clip. Matter of fact, we will use this button here to jump to the end of the clip, and then we will move the Z parameter so that way the clip flies across the screen, and at the same time we can mess with these controls as well so that way the clip does a flip as it's going across the screen. If we go back and just hit play, now this is actually a fairly long clip, so it might take a little bit, but as you can see, it's moving across the screen and it's doing a flip as it's doing it. And again, I could go to the Graphs tab and I could just change the keyframes at will at any point in the video simply by dragging the line on the graph. I can go to the next keyframe here. Matter of fact, this is the X coordinate, so let's put it in the frame. I can then bring this one back so that way it moves back the other way. Now if I play this, it's going to move in and out with this Graphs tab here. Here it comes in. Eventually it's going to go back the other way, and then it'll go back the other way yet again. And it's gone. And it's gone, like they say in South Park. Now something that's kind of cool is, not only, see now it's letting me do the right click. I think I had my hand on the mouse pad before so it wouldn't let me. But you can do this with really anything. I'm going to add a title to this. Okay, so here's my title. I'm going to type ugly worm wit teeth. I was trying to do wit teeth, like bad grammar, but I just can't do it. Okay, so here's my text. Now, if I enable keyframing for size, and I'll leave opacity alone. I don't think I can keyframe the text itself, but I can keyframe the color. Obviously the position I can keyframe, shadow I can keyframe, outline, all of that stuff. So let's start right here, and I'm going to increase the size right now. The face, I will change the color on it, so now it's purple. Now I'm going to play the clip, or perhaps I will just move the playhead, and then I will change the color again. So now it's green or yellow, whatever that is. The position, I will move it over there. The font, I'll make it smaller. Move the playhead over here, and again, because keyframing is enabled, we automatically are adding keyframes. I'm going to change the color. Yet again, now it's like some sort of, I want it to be red. There it is, now it's red. Size, I'm going to blow way up. Huge now. Okay, now if I go to the beginning of the clip and click play, you're going to see there's the text moving all around, changing colors. You see that, everybody? And what do you think you can do if you go to the Graphs tab? That's right, the big powerful Graphs tab. Look at the colors here. I could add a node right here. I can slide them. See that? Look at that. You get the red, green, blue. You get all the colors. I can slide these nodes around and just change the color right here in the Graphs tab. See that? I'm extending the purple now. Make it smaller. I can bring the green over so that it happens quicker. Change the X position. Change the Y position even. I didn't do that at all. And again, you want to get rid of any of these keyframes, just step back to a keyframe, click the minus button, and it's gone. You can step back to a keyframe in the Graphs tab, like right there, and click the minus button or the plus button, and that'll be gone as well. And let's watch it again. Look at that. You got the big ugly worm and the text, and you got all that stuff flying around. But that's not all I can do. I'm going to right click on this clip right now, if it lets me right click on it, which for some reason my computer's giving me right click issues today. Wow. I'm going to go to the edit tab and attempt to right click over here. There we go. I'm going to add a dissolve to this. Let's play this real quick. See, it dissolves into that clip, and let's zoom in on this. And let's extend the length of this dissolve a bit. I'm going to click over here. As a matter of fact, hit tab and get out of that. Click over here, extend it this way. Alright, whatever. That seems to be a bit longer. So now if you play this, you can see it dissolves into this clip here. And let's go to the audio tab and get rid of the audio so you don't have to listen to me talking about the worm. But the reason I'm doing a dissolve is because you guessed it. You can keyframe a dissolve. Isn't that something? See, if I put my cursor over the dissolve, you can see right here, the keyframing is automatically enabled. And this little slider right here is the dissolve. So if I bring this all the way up, now it's fully dissolved in. If I move the cursor over here, I can bring this back down to here. It's dissolved back out. Put the cursor over here. You know, bring this back down to there. Put the cursor here. Bring it up. You know, bring it back down, and then it's going to go back in. Now, if I play this, it's just going to dissolve all over the place. See? I mean, that's literally a keyframe to dissolve. And I can right-click here, replace this with a squeeze. Let's see what a squeeze looks like. A squeeze looks like a squeeze. Let's make this a little bit longer. So I just extended the dissolve. Let's make sure it still works. See, it just squeezed on out. And again, if I put my cursor over the dissolve, I can mess with this and automatically change keyframe parameters. Go over here. Let's go back to here now. And we go this way. Yeah, that works. Now if I play it, bam, bam. Oh, it's just dissolving all over the place there, or wiping, whatever that was. You know, that's about it with keyframing. You can keyframe pretty much everything in Lightworks. Just remember, anything you want to keyframe, you have to click the little clock button right here. And remember, the real power of keyframing is in the Graphs tab right over there. And, you know, that's about it in keyframe effects, keyframe dissolves, keyframe just about everything in Lightworks. Thank you for watching.